All right, welcome to another episode of Overtime. Jason Overman here, your host as always. So today we are going to be making Philly cheesesteaks. I made these the other night, and I thought I made extra for leftovers, but unfortunately, my family ate all three. And they were made out of these large loaves. Everybody loves my Philly cheesesteaks, so I thought I'd share this with y'all on how I make these and all the recipes that you look up for Philly cheesesteaks. They always pretty much call for ribeye steak. Here to tell you, I just buy London broil. I got this on sale for $4.50 a pound. 2.5 pounds, about $11. So you can actually get away with some pretty cheap meat because they're going to be chopping it into small pieces to start with anyway, slicing it up. Now, if you don't have a slicer, you can buy pre-sliced meat at the grocery store. I'm sure some butcher shops would even slice it for you. So keep that in mind. I like having fresh meat and I slice it myself. So we're going to get started here by slicing our meat. Now, before I slice my meat, I put it in the freezer. It's been in there 3-4 hours. It gets a little bit of solidity to it, so it slices better. If this thing is just floppy, fresh meat, it doesn't quite slice as well. So just a pro tip there. If you get a slicer and you're having trouble, harden it up a little bit. All right, let's get underway. Alright, so back here with you. Now I sliced mine. This thing's set on like 2. I don't know if all of them are set the same or not. I don't know if that's millimeters or what that is. But anyway, slice them kind of thin. I don't like mine too thin. That way I've got a little body to my meat. So once I get it all sliced up, take my old knife and I just kind of go through. And then I just chop this up into smaller pieces. So I end up with something, say, yay size. It'll vary a lot. There'll be tidbits in there. So anyway, let's go through. Slice that up. Alright, so now we've got our London broil chopped up here. Might find a couple of extra pieces that are a little bit big and just kind of go through it and just finish chopping it up. I like to spread it out nice and even here. At this point you can use whatever sauce. I like Montreal steak seasoning on my steaks, but I don't think it works as good on Philly cheesesteaks. So this is a seasoning that I have found that I really like. It's called Spice Supreme, just steak seasoning. It's got a good taste to it. Works well with Philly cheesesteaks in my opinion. So I put on a nice coating of this. And hit it with that Worcester. We can argue all day about how to say it. All I can tell you is that it works. Alright, so now I'm going to set this in a bowl and let it marinate while we cook our vegetables. Alright, for our veggies, 3 bell peppers. Once again, we prefer, let's just do this. Alright, for our veggies, 3 bell peppers. Once again, we prefer the colored ones. They tend to not have the something in them that gives us heartburn occasionally, so stay away from the green ones. Plus, they're pretty, different colors. 1 onion. Not everybody in my family eats onion. If you're big onion lovers, I would suggest 2 onions. 2 packs of fresh sliced mushrooms. So let's get to chopping this up. I'm going to be putting the peppers and the mushrooms together and keeping the onions separate. Let's get at it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and mix my mushrooms in to my peppers. My family loves mushrooms, so we go a little overboard on the mushrooms sometimes. So I try not to put too big of pieces. I just try not to chop them up too small either. So I just go through, and the big ones I just kind of pop a little bit. They're easy to cut. So you can grab them, they pop. So I'm going to mix a little bit of Worcestershire in my peppers, and I'm going to put mushrooms in and mix a little bit more of that Worcestershire. Alright, so while we let our meat and our vegetables kind of marinate a little bit over there in that Worcestershire, I am going to go ahead and prepare my bread. So I used to use individual buns, and it was a lot harder to make this. Once I tried these large French loaves, this is the way I do it now. Same way my shrimp po' boys, everything. I just buy these large loaves. It's easier to assemble the sandwich. So these are $2 a piece at Food Line. Unfortunately, normally I do 3 of these with 2.5 pounds of meat and the veggies. Unfortunately, they didn't have 3, so I've also bought 2 small ones. These were $2.50 a piece, so yeah, this is a good option too if you've got someone that doesn't like onions. And people that do, you can go ahead and prepare the large ones with onions and make a couple small ones without onions. It'll all work out. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a V out of this French loaf. So I've got somewhere for my toppings to go, because if you just cut a slit in this bread and try to stuff the toppings in it, it's just going to rip and fall apart. It just doesn't work. So go ahead and cut yourself a nice V out, and then we're going to get to cooking. Alright, out at the Blackstone now. Now, just a tip on a Blackstone. Unsalted butter has a higher flash point than regular butter. So instead of oil, I use a lot of unsalted butter on my Blackstone. There should be enough room for my veggies. my peppers and my mushrooms. Put our onions right down here. I'm going to spread this all out. You want to cook these until they get nice and soft. Peppers get nice and soft. So the onions are translucent. I'm going to cut that heat back just a little bit, close the lid, and let that simmer. Oh yeah, we're getting there now. Don't want to overcook your steak too much. We're going to stir around just a little bit. We're going to let it finish up here. Make sure our veggies ain't sticking. Oh, they're getting nice and soft now. Oh yeah, looking good. Alright, it's time to pull our veggies and our meat off. Alright, so here we are. Final assembly, if you will. What I do, I like to take the meat first. Be plentiful with it. Fill up that bottom down there. Like so. Alright, so now I've got my steak all over this. I like to pack it down in there a little bit. Alright, up next is my peppers and mushrooms. Alright, now onions. Alright, white American cheese is going on next here. I like to pile it on there. Just kind of pull it into pieces and make sure it kind of covers everything. And there we have it. Now we're going to bake this in the oven. Yeah, it usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Let all the cheese melt, let your bread brown a little bit. And we're going to be on the way to being done. Alright, and there we have it. And what I typically do is cut these longer ones up into 4 sections. That shorter one, 2 or 3 sections. Just kind of divvy it all up. There you have it. Philly cheesesteaks. Alright, so that is our Philly cheesesteaks. Sometimes I just eat it with chips, sometimes we'll make some fries. if you noticed, the one of the sandwiches didn't even make it back to the plate. It's already been eaten. So these are delicious sandwiches. It's not a quick, easy meal, but it is delicious. And if you're cooking in large quantities, you can always have some left over for lunch. And I love leftovers. So if you like our videos, like, subscribe, share, let people know. We've got more cooking videos coming your way. We've also got more shop videos coming your way. So stay tuned to Overtime. Please like and subscribe.